Welcome back to
Welcome back
Soul's
to
Meet,
Souls Me.
a very special edition of Soul's Meet.
Yeah, so it's a very different concept for this week.
Yeah, just this week, a very different episode that we had to put together for you
Like
guys.
as everybody can imagine, we're not in the same place. We're not in the same city. So
Yeah,
for a second we were like, well, we might have because it was like not planned. So
yeah.
we were like, we might have to skip it this week. And then we were like,
Nope, we don't want
she's
to do
she's a Virgo and I have Virgo in me.
that.
And like it was like, no, we don't want like how do we make it work? We cannot skip it.
Yeah, no. And I'm glad we figured out a way to make it work because I mean, I know that this is something that's very important for both of us. And we just did not want to miss a week doing this and being here with you guys and with each other, telling these stories.
I know, it's exciting. Now we're like getting into it. Like we're both like super busy this week.
Yeah,
Crazy busy, but we're like, doesn't matter. Like let's get into it and see.
yeah, yeah. We're gonna find time, and we did find time. So it's okay because we're here now, and we're gonna make it happen.
Yes. Yes.
So
Okay.
we have, of course, as always, today, this time we have one news story for you guys, and I'm going to read it because I have the link. So.
Because
You
she
have no idea what this is. This is completely a surprise for you. Normally, both of us, we at least know the
the
title.
title, yeah, I have no idea what the title is at all.
She
So
has no idea. I just found this.
surprise me.
We're going to see her reaction, her natural, genuine reaction. Okay.
Okay.
Am I in the wrong? I was promised a financial gift from my dad, but he died before I got it. My sisters now say I shouldn't be able to claim it from the state. So, this is the story. I, female 30, recently lost my dad. My sisters and I are due to receive some money from my dad's estate. I was brought up with my mom and my younger sister, 27. Sorry, one second. I brought up with my mom. Sorry, guys, this is not written properly. Excuse me.
As you
I
guys
brought up with
see,
my mom.
this is completely like real.
He's very real. I brought up with my mom that my younger sister, 27, received a financial gift from my dad last year to help her with the cost of driving lessons and the purchase of a car. I was told at the time that I would get the same amount towards the cost of a car when I bought one. My mom told me to raise this with my sisters as they had both been given financial help from my dad with buying a car and I hadn't due to not having started learning. I brought this up with them today and asked that I receive this money from the state. I said that it's not their fault that my dad passed away before I started to learn how to drive, and I don't have any claim to money I was promised. I responded that it was unfair that they had both received the money and that I should be paid this out of his estate. They disagreed and said I couldn't make claims to be owed this, with my older sister, 35, saying that as she learned to drive when she was 17, it was ridiculous to even bring this up. My sister was given a car and driving lessons as a gift when she turned 17. However, 5 years later, when I turned 17, my family was in financial difficulty and couldn't afford to do the same for me, and so I didn't learn. I went off to university, moved abroad, moved back to the UK, living in a big city, and always used public transportation. As I got older, I wanted to learn for when I have kids, hopefully in the next 5 years. This disagreement led to a huge argument with my older sister storming off and calling me names. This feels quite obvious to me, but they're of a very different opinion, and it's causing rifts in our relationship. Am I in the wrong?
Wow. It's all financial. Okay, let's go.
Okay.
I don't know if we like have this in real time. I hope it's like real time.
No, I was wondering for a second, like, is it gonna be,
What do we
is
do?
it gonna be perfect? Let's
Okay.
see. Okay. Piedra, papel o tijera. Un, dos, tres. I don't think that.
The one day that I didn't actually want to go first.
Oh, well,
Because it's like, I don't know, but like I feel like it's a story that has like too many like question marks. Because
yeah.
why are the other sisters the ones, like the only ones who have any say in their parents' state? You know, it's like,
Yeah.
is it like they, sorry, maybe I didn't understand that part of the story. You didn't tell me. So it sounds like she's like a separate like marriage, or
It doesn't say anything
it
about that.
doesn't
No,
say
it
that.
sounds like it, but it doesn't say anything about that. She just refers to her sisters and her mom and her dad, but doesn't really say if
It doesn't
they have
really say
different moms.
anything. So I'm like, it's a little bit weird because like if a parent dies, I'm guessing like the like usually it goes between like the partner and then the children. Like I do
Yeah,
know that it's like I in some countries at least it's like half for the partner, which would be like the mom, and then like the other half it's like given to the children. So she would have to get some of this money anyway. So that's why I'm like wondering. I'm like, is it that maybe it was like a family thing that they like the sisters are getting that money? So we don't have all this information.
I know.
So only given what she is saying, she said she's what? What like how old is she?
She's 30.
She's 30. So she's saying her sister's like 35. So it's like
The oldest one is 35, yeah.
so it's not even like she has like a huge age gap. So again, it's very confusing what's going on. So in my head, I'm like, it's you're not in the wrong for obviously asking for something that they got, that they also got. Um, if like all of the like if the final like the family dynamic, if all of the sisters like were brought up in the same way, because I'm thinking of again I'm always like thinking like relating to people, and I do have
Yeah.
like one story that I know like close to me, which is like a child, but it was like a child that came like it was from like another marriage that came out like years later, and like basically the parents stayed, yes, it went to the older sisters because but they also worked in the company with their father. So it was more about like, oh, this is like our younger brother who was like brought up like in a separate marriage, like we don't know anything,
Right.
so it's like it's kind of different, but still like that person, like the father still made sure that some money was gonna go to him anyways.
Yeah.
So if these are your sisters that you grew up with and your father left money, why are you not like why are they in the control of like all of this money
Yeah. Yeah.
and you have no like you still have to receive money, like you're not even underage, like you still like this should be separated equally, and you don't even have to ask like whatever money you receive. Now I'm thinking, is she like, is it that she's expecting that because the other ones got it, like they have to produce this money for her? Like if no money is available, then yeah, it's a little bit weird. But like
Yeah.
if it's a matter of like, oh, there is some money, there is money available and I want to use it for the card, 100%, like your father wanted that and like he gave that to the other siblings.
Right.
So you're not in the wrong, with the information we have.
I know it's a little bit like there are a lot of question marks because I was thinking the same thing. Like, what's the number one? Yeah, what's the family dynamic here? Is she from another marriage? But also, why is she asking for the money? Like, if the dad passed away and he has this estate that, yeah, should be split between all of the sisters. Why is she asking for money on top of that? Or is she not getting anything at all? And she's expecting that. Like it's very weird.
It's very weird.
Yeah, there's just like a lot of question marks. So I mean, I don't even like this is such a story that's missing so many pieces to it. So it's kind of hard to say like you are in the wrong or you're not in the wrong.
Right.
I agree. I agree. I don't think that she's completely in the wrong for asking for something that was given to other sisters. But at the same time, like if I'm going to assume that you got part of an estate, then I would say you're in the wrong for asking for something on top of what you've already been
Right.
given.
If we assume that this is like, oh, she like it's already divided, but she's asking for more because that was like on top of it. That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
Mm,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
yeah.
Like if it's on top of it, because I just don't see, she's not talking about, oh, I didn't get anything at all. She didn't mention any of that. So I can only assume that,
Oh, you're right.
yeah, like I think that would be another issue, like, oh, my sisters got part of the estate and I didn't. That would be another issue. But because she didn't mention that, I can only assume that she got part of the estate and then she wants, on top of that, she wants the money for the car.
Then that is a little bit weird.
Right? To me, it's just like, okay, this sound, and also like, okay, I don't mean to bring it to this, but like, how long ago did your dad pass away? Because is this really what you're worrying about? You
Also,
know?
let's give it the benefit of like the benefit of the doubt and
Yeah, yeah,
think
yeah.
that
It's been a
some
while.
time has passed. Exactly, because you don't bring that up right away. Like, it's kind
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's another thing that came into my head. I was like, how long has it been? Because is this really what you're concerned about? The car? But so yeah, for me, and just assuming, because again, she's missing a lot of information, assuming that she already got money out of her father's death, you're in the wrong for asking for money on top of that. And if when you were growing up, the situation was a little bit different because your family was in financial difficulty, then it sucks, but that's just the way it is,
of.
you know? Like
Mm,
I'm not demanding money from my parents because I didn't have a quinceañera and my sister did.
mm.
Like it just
You
happened.
owe me my
You
quinceañera
owe me
money.
my quince.
Where
Give
is
me
it?
my money.
I also
Give
didn't
me.
have one.
You didn't have one either?
Have one either. But I have to say that I wasn't also like asking for one. I feel like if I had been like, oh, I won one, then my parents would have tried. But I was like, I used to say, I was like, well, like I was always like a nice girl, but in that sense, I was like, well, are we dying at 30? And like, is that like the half of the life or whatever? Like I was just like, I don't get it.
Oh my, well, there you go.
So I was like, but then
Probably
as
why.
the time passed and like everybody got their also I didn't like when it came my time, all of my friends had their quinceañeras 2 years before that. Because
Oh, yeah, because you went to,
I was
yeah,
2 years.
she's gifted.
Oh yeah, yeah. Everybody thinks the same thing. We just bribed the school. No. But like, yeah. So my friends were 15 when I was 13. So they were all having quinceañeras. Like I was in quinto año, like the last. It was my senior year of high school when I was like 15. People
Oh
were
my,
like over quinceañera, so it was like
yeah,
it was weird. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, that makes sense. Mine was a little bit different, and mine was very understandable. Like my grandmother passed away, so it was around the same time as my birthday, and so obviously after that, it's like I don't even want a quince.
Should we have a quinceañera, Yarine?
We are supposed to have a sweet 16 times two.
The sweet 16. Everybody, we have sweet 16 times two. We're not
Yeah.
gonna say the age coming up for the
You
book.
can figure it out. 16 times 2. What does that equal?
Basic math. So we're
We're
gonna have our like sweet 16.
having our sweet 16 party
Sweet
together.
16.
I do have another story actually.
Yay. Perfect.
And this is a little bit more, again, I just read the title,
Okay.
but I feel like this will be a little bit more,
Fruitful.
like more personal for me and you because we've worked with, you'll see. Am I in the wrong for bullying? It's in quotation marks, bullying an autistic girl and excluding her.
Of course. Sorry. No.
Yes, automatically. Yes, you are. Okay. There are a lot of things happening here. So I, 18 female, am in a friend group of 20-ish people. Inside that friend group, there are 8 of us who meet once a week to play tabletop board games. I host happily every time. The only set rule is that my dog sits on my lap in the room. And that usual game group is Ted, 18 male. He has a girlfriend, June, 17 female. I know everyone in the group really well because we all went to the same high school. I knew nothing about June. So, a couple of weeks ago, Ted asked me if June could come to game night. I had never met this girl before. That's all in capitals. And I know nothing, again in capitals, about her. I said yes. So there are 7 of us, including Ted and June, and we're playing a game that has 2 teams, and the goal is to get your team to be the richest and also be the richest person facilitates. Sorry, so no. The goal is to get your team to be the richest and also be the richest on your team. So June and I, Max, 18 male, are on a team, and Ted and 2 others on another team. One person facilitates. So we start to play, and a couple of rounds go by, and the game goes slowly. So none of us have a lot of money yet, but June starts to get ... antsy, question mark, I guess. As the game progresses, she's not doing as well as me and Max, and she starts to raise her voice and cry a little. It gets to where she's screaming at us about the game. Max just doesn't engage with her, but I'm trying to calm her down and saying it's going to be okay. We pause to eat dinner. It's been about 2-ish hours. We go back to playing and things escalate from there. She ends up screaming and crying at me for another 2-ish hours before she starts hyperventilating and runs downstairs into my kitchen. Ted and I get to follow her, and he tells me to stay upstairs, so I do. When we can hear her screaming, sobbing still, and Ted comes up and asks if he can bring my dog to her to calm her down. I said no, my dog is very elderly and gets stressed, and I don't want her screaming at him. So an hour of the rest of us sitting there goes by, and then they both come up. We've already put the game away, and June kind of avoids me. I went downstairs to find a picture frame broken, and I asked Ted and June and June basically said, oops. I have autism and had a meltdown because I'm really competitive. I was still a bit stunned, so I didn't say anything at the time. People leave, and later I get a text from June that essentially said she was sorry, but it was an asshole thing of me to not let her hold the dog while she was trying to calm down. I sent her a photo of the frame. Game night is tonight. Yesterday, Ted texted the main group chat asking if June could come. He said she couldn't help it. Wait, that doesn't make sense. He said that she couldn't help it and that I was being ableist for excluding her.
Mm.
Some people said I was bullying her because her behavior was because of her autism. People who were there agreed with me. I feel conflicted. I know what it's like to live with a condition that's difficult like that. I would also never go into someone's home and yell at them and break stuff. I don't know. Am I in the wrong? Oh my
Oh wow. I started somewhere and then
God.
went
Yes,
somewhere and then went somewhere else.
me too.
Okay, let's go for it. Piedra, papel o tijera. Un, dos, tres.
Okay.
Piedra, papel o tijera. Un, dos, tres.
You go.
So the thing is like she doesn't she says bullying. So I don't know what type of bullying. If you ask me straight, am I in the wrong for bullying? Yes. But I don't, you're not like, so the question is at the end, am I in the wrong for like saying no to this person in general?
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, I think that's what she's tried to say because the thing was, am I in the wrong for bullying a girl with autism?
Because bullying is one thing, but telling a person, sorry, you can't come to my house is a completely different one.
Yeah, I think people are, that's what she put it in.
Oh,
because
because
people
you're not
are
paying
saying
attention.
that she bullied her by saying, no, you can't have
Right.
my dog, or no, you can't come for game night again, you know?
I mean, it's again, you said it before. We have a long history with the world of autism, both Yeti and I. So my first thing is gonna be like, sorry, I don't think I can respond to this one being like yes or no.
Yeah,
Because
I know. I
yeah,
know.
right? Can we agree to that?
I agree. I agree.
Because it's like it's a choice that you would have to make when it comes to somebody with autism, and like if that person is like diagnosed and like you know that these behaviors are coming because of their diagnosis and all of that. Yes, but this is an adult with autism. Um, there is a decision you will have to make as to like, yeah, cater certain things and have to accept certain things, like maybe having a conversation with this person or like the boyfriend and say like, listen, yeah, she can come because I don't want to like leave her aside, but like I understand a person being like, I can't accept this in my home again. Like, breaking stuff. Like, how
Hmm.
close are you with Max? Like with the boyfriend. Like, you're in the right to put limits. But yeah, we know that that's also a person who's trying and might not really know the difference between like how difficult can be for the rest of the world to deal with something like that. So it's a hard one.
It's very hard. It's very hard because I don't personally, from if this is the full story, I don't think you bullied her. I don't think that for me that categorizes as bullying. Um, and but I don't also agree with the fact that like you would exclude her from a game night because of the behavior. I understand putting limits. I agree with you on that. Like this is your home. You probably would not want that to happen again. Um, but because of her condition, I don't think she should be excluded from one time of her
Like exactly
acting like
having.
that, you know? And I think she sounds like June sounds like she is aware enough of her
Yeah,
reaction. And I don't think that she would do it again.
right, right.
And so it's a very complicated topic because I can see both sides.
Yeah,
Um, I yeah, I can't say whether you're in the wrong or not because
yeah, but I think you hit a great point, and it's like June is aware.
yeah.
Depending on how aware June is that this is a hard thing to deal with for others too,
Mm-hmm.
I think a conversation can be had. Depending on how like um high functioning, it's the
Mm-hmm.
actual word for it, you can maybe have a conversation if she's really open about her diagnosis, like, listen,
Yeah.
this is like, you can come to my house and break stuff. So you make a deal with them.
Yeah.
Also, I would tell this person to, if you want to be inclusive, then you can give her another chance. Learn a
Exactly.
little bit about what it is to deal with, not deal, that sounds, but you get
Live with.
learn a little bit about what it means to, it could mean to have autism, which the usual, like the one of the most como typical things within having autism is like the social cues are not there.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you see a very high functioning person, like the social cues are not there. Like they might not understand how difficult that is, and like how that can feel, it can look for others, and in that moment they're not realizing that, and even afterwards they might not see it as that bad, because for them it's like it makes sense, like, I'm pretty mad right now.
Yeah, exactly.
But if this is a person that was able to like come down and come upstairs and has a boyfriend and comes to like these places, I think a second chance can be given
Hmm.
and say, this is what happened. I really don't want to like leave you out of it, but like, is there any chance that you can try to like not do this? And then in that moment, like again, like that just I'm just gonna leave it to the person who wrote it, like to really go an extra mile if they want to and learn a little bit more about like because the second you just go like this is what happened, they'll be like if that's the case, June could be like, but what's the problem with it? And in that level of awareness, you can be like, well, the problem is that this is how it makes me feel, and that's when they click it, and it's like
Hmm.
again, like this is a person with autism is one person with autism because autism,
Yeah.
we know that, but it's just like again, we said it's not bullying.
No, I don't feel like it is. I mean, if it's coming down to, oh, I didn't let her hold my dog, and oh, I don't want to invite her because she, broke a picture frame. I don't think you can count that as bullying, especially because well, not the frame part, but the dog. I mean, at that moment, you didn't know that she had autism when Ted asked, "Oh, can she hold your dog?" So that you didn't know that she had autism.
Right.
You just know my dog is elderly, and no, I don't want him to be in the hands of someone that
And
might
that
know.
I get. That I get 100%.
So, I can't agree with the bullying part of it. But I do agree that maybe just having a conversation could solve all of this. And we also don't know how close she is to Ted, the June's boyfriend,
Oh, I
if
thought
they're very
I said
close friends.
Max. Why did I say Max?
Because that's another friend they had.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's another friend they had. But I mean, yeah, if Ted and this girl are close, and that's his girlfriend at the end of the day, you might want to have some sort of at least civil relationship with her. Um, but I mean, because this is something that we have history working with people under the umbrella. Um, I don't want to say this is normal because it's different for everyone depending on how functioning they are. But you're right, like they are not like when it comes to social cues, it's very different for them than it is for you and I. And they don't understand. They just understand I'm angry.
Yeah.
That's it. So I think a simple conversation, instead of just excluding her from all the games or future games, is best, you know?
Yeah, it's not a matter of being like right or wrong. It's a matter of
No.
how much do you want to like
Yeah.
be one person and like learn about it and like maybe give her a second chance and talk about it and see
Yeah.
where it goes. You might be teaching yourself something and the others something and like
Of
her
course.
something and like this could be great for June. It's not her responsibility per se, but
Hmm.
as in society, it could be.
Yeah. It could be a great lesson for everyone
Yeah.
involved here. So there you go.
Yeah. I feel like both stories today were like it's difficult.
Yeah, well, they
Like,
were because
well,
there's like don't for the first story, it's just like, okay, so many pieces were missing there. I don't really know what to tell you, girl. And for the second one, it's just more like, yeah, there's no right and wrong in that situation. It's just like, what do you want to do moving forward?
but hopefully this will some of the pieces inside of the stories help people.
Yeah, for sure. I hope so.
This is our special.
Special edition of Souls Meet.
Next
Thank you for joining us.
week.
Bye.